Hello everyone, welcome to Desert Succulent, and for today we're gonna be featuring Echeveria ronui. This is commonly known as the topsy-turvy, Mexican hens and chicks, and the silver spoons Echeveria. Our topsy-turvy is considered as a cultivar, and that means that it is selected and cultivated by humans. Its name came about because yung kanyang leaves look as if they are positioned upside down, and you would really notice here, ayan, if we're gonna be having this kind of top view, you would also notice na yung kanyang leaf has a pronounced V shape with all the tips pointing to the center of the rosette, and yung kanyang waxy leaves have a powdery soft na whitish gray in color. Ayan, even if stressed, talagang ganyan lang yung kanyang natural na color. It's also one of those succulents na madalas mapagkamalan na cubic frost, kasi if you are a beginner, you might be confused kung ano nga ba ang difference between the two. And I have here sa likod an example. Here's a side-by-side na comparison ng dalawa, and you would really see the difference in terms of their color. Itong ating mga topsy-turvy, talagang parang more on the lighter shade siya, parang whitish in color even if na-stress siya. While for our cubic frost, parang grayish yung kanyang color. Pag na-stress siya, yung kanyang leaves will turn into this purple na colors, and the shape ng kanilang leaves are totally different. For this one, makikita niyo yung kanyang V shape, makikita niyo parang may fold siya sa likod ng kanyang leaves, while this one hindi masyadong dominant yung pagka-fold, parang may curve lang siyang very slight in the middle going inwards, pero hindi talaga siya yung parang nag-fold as compared dito sa ating mga Echeveria topsy-turvy. So if you will be looking at the rosette, this one is parang cubes nga yung fino-form niya na shape. We have like parang squares dyan sa gitna. Well, this one, it's circular. Parang nga siyang heart shape if you will be having this kind of angle, but this is different. You would also notice yung kanilang pinaka-tips. Ito, it has these pointy tips at the end ng kanyang leaves, pero hindi siya ganon ka-sharp. While this one, for our topsy-turvy, you would notice na medyo sharp or parang claw-like yung tips ng kanyang leaves. Ayan. To those who are still confused about the difference ng dalawa, here is already a side-by-side comparison. The height of these Echeveria variety would go up to 4 to 8 inches, and yung kanyang diameter would be about 6 to 10 inches. And what you are seeing right now is just about 5 inches in diameter, and it will still double the size when it reaches its maturity. And these are commonly used outside as borders or ground covers. You can put them in rag gardens or any succulent arrangement that you have. So it's also considered as a common succulent, and I guess every succulent owner or lover would have this kind of variety in their collection. For their light requirements, they can grow in full sun, and this is located sa ating open area where it is exposed to the rain and yung ating sun all day long. Even if we will be exposing it all day long sa ating sunlight, it will not change yung kanyang color. What you are seeing right now is yung kanyang sun stress na color. Nothing really changed much. Still very dominant nga yung parang whitish na color niya. Although in some parts, depende sa angle, may nakikita akong parang pinkish, very light na pink. Ayan, so this area, ayan, even this. So parang sa leaf margins nila, may parang pinkish akong nakikita. I'm not sure if the camera can capture it, but it do have that kind of color. But still, in general, this would be its sun stress na color. Moreover, they prefer a warm environment or temperature from 18 degrees until 21 degrees centigrade. We would also be expecting that these succulent will be giving us a gold orange to pinkish na star-shaped flowers, and yung kanyang flower stalk would be about 8 inches tall. Our topsy-turvy has a low water needs, and therefore we have to let the soil dry completely between watering it again. But if we will be putting them outside wherein we have no control of the rain like what's happening right now na parang 3 or 4 consecutive days nang umuulan, we can actually remove them from the area kung saan sila nakalagay, kasi if we will be continuously exposing them to that environment, our problem would be overwatering, especially if they are in a bigger pot. That's why it's also very important na if mag-aalaga tayo ng ating mga topsy-turvy, ilagay natin siya sa kanyang pot size that is appropriate to its size. So usually, for example, here yung ating topsy-turvy, you have to give at least 1 inch na allowance around sa inyong plant. So this is the ideal na container for the succulent. And syempre, not too deep and not too shallow din yung ginamit kong pot. I think this one is just about 4 or 5 inches deep. And since nakalagay nga siya doon sa ating open area, it's also important to consider nga yung kanyang succulent soil mix. Ayan, so this is another loam soil. And most aking mga succulents na nakalagay na sa ganitong pot, I used yung ating loam soil lang. And that is something na very effective naman sa akin. And you can always experiment kung anong soil mix na appropriate dyan sa inyong area. And for some guidance, you can always check yung aking previous vlogs before about yung ating succulent soil mix. Choosing a fertilizer for this kind of plant is also very simple. You can always make use of a diluted na solution, usually 1/2 or 1/4 strength of the recommended dosage kung ano man yung ginagamit ninyong fertilizers. But in my case, I'm using yung liquid na type na pinangdidilig ko lang sa kanya monthly. Propagating our topsy-turvy is not a big problem kasi they are known for profusely producing offsets that quickly surround yung kanyang original na rosettes, and that's why it got its name na Mexican hens and chicks, kasi usually madami siyang offsets dito sa pinaka ilalim niya. And unfortunately, itong ating topsy-turvy na to has no offsets yet, but it's very similar to this one, yung ating cubic frost. So pareho lang naman sila ng way ng pag-propagate or pag-produce ng kanilang offsets. It would look like this, yung talagang pinaka-ilalim ng pinaka-main rosette, magkakaroon siya ng napakadaming offsets na ganyan. So just in case itong ating topsy-turvy ay nagkaroon ng madaming offsets like this, you can just simply separate it. May kita nyo naman yan sa pinaka-stem niya. Ayan, so you can just natanggalan natin yung leaf niya. Mabilis kasing mag-propagate itong cubic frost. So you can just cut doon banda. But syempre mas maganda nga if ganito lang yung kanyang itsura. Further grooming, we have to regularly remove yung mga dead leaves from around the bottom of the plant, kasi itong mga dead leaves na to will attract yung ating mga pests. Like for example here, ayan, we have to remove lahat ng ito. Ayan, I haven't removed this one yet for quite a long time. And also our topsy-turvy are also prone sa ating mga pests such as our mealybugs. So ito yung ating beheaded na topsy-turvy, and you would notice na ang dami niyang problem sa kanya. It has this fungal infection dyan. And at the same time, nagkaroon siya ng sunburn. Yun, nakita nyo parang mga black doon. And right now, I'm trying my best to save itong ating topsy-turvy na ito. You will see there, may mealybugs pa siya. And if you are wondering kung saan ko siya kinat, this is yung original na pinagkatan ko sa kanya. So both of them, this one at saka this one, are in an isolation area kasi they are infested with mealybugs. So nakikita nyo yung parang mga white doon. That is how a mealybug would look like. So this one is talagang napabayaan na siya. It was fully ignored. But even if na in-ignore natin siya, they will just continuously thrive. As you would see, dire-diretso lang yung pag-produce niya ng offsets. Here sa pinakagitna, those are tiny offsets. You would notice na there's a lot of dirt sa kanya kasi pag umuulan, natatalsikan siya ng mga dust or putik around it. And sa ngayon, ganyan ang kanyang itsura. And in the next coming days, we will be featuring this in one of our vlogs. Kaya ganyan na lang muna siya. And we will be having a makeover or transformation of these abandoned na topsy-turvy. And that's all for our topsy-turvy guide. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You may also visit our Facebook page at Desert Succulent PH.